Guys,
Welcome to your little interdimensional joyride, folks. I'm
Hola.
Dr. Seeker, your friendly tour guide, and a heck of a paleontologist, if I do say so myself.
Oh, God.
wait, what?
You do understand what just happened, right?
Nope.
No, I just got so nervous because we're live on YouTube now. Guys?
I hope I know Ryan understands what I just did.
Hola.
Oh, wait a second, I hear myself.
If I do say so myself.
Okay, I fixed it. Wait, I fixed it.
Let's see, we've got some folks in the chat. We've got Trent saying that's news to him, too, about Oswald being questioned as a Soviet spy, which Sierra's asking.
Oswald,
Trent
friend
says
or
hello to
foe?
Ryan. North says sup, yo. Alex says what's up. Trent says meow, and then he says LOL more people. I don't know why Trent's meowing in the
Oh, we
chat,
have to
but I
meow
respect it.
back.
Meow. My son's been doing that thing where he's like, meow, 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 and then he'll knock something off the counter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's got to stop.
Live on YouTube is much more pressure. Sierra just put even more pressure on me.
Oh,
Surface pressure?
Thanks, Sierra. Appreciate you.
Oh, y'all are
reminding me.
so small, and now you're repeating. Yeah, I fixed the repeating thing. I had the audio on the YouTube stream for some reason. But anyway, guys,
Tonight's gonna be a good one tonight.
But we have a great show for you tonight, as Remy would say.
Yes,
A
we're
really
gonna
good
start
show.
off with this week in theme the theme park news. Then we're gonna
It's
have.
going to all be wrong.
Then after that, we're gonna have Mike's Munchies. Or then we're gonna have Nicole's music notes, and we're gonna end the whole episode off with Mark's D's notes. Feel grooved. I
Feels-
want that
happening
shirt
right now?
so badly. Oh, now North says meow. This might be the cat episode, y'all.
What's
Which is
happening?
interesting because we're going to be talking a lot
where's
about the cat
Jackie at?
tonight.
Yeah, what's that cat's name?
You're going to find out. He's cool. I like that guy.
Oh, I meant she.
Oh, from the Oswald ones?
Alex
Yes.
calls me kitten.
That is Hortensia.
Oh,
But
my
that is
God.
Hortensia is not the cat we're going to talk a ton about here.
whenever
We'll talk a
when-
little bit about Hortensia.
whenever Alex calls me and I say hello, Alex goes, "What's up, kitten?"
That's weird.
I know. And he whispers.
meow, meow.
and he whispers
meow,
it
Meow,
What's
meow.
up,
kitten?
Meow, meow, meow.
too.
Meow, meow.
There's
Meow,
only one
meow.
real cat.
If
Meow,
Mike
meow.
Gesicki scores a touchdown,
meow,
punch your
meow.
webcam so I know Alex. I'm
Meow,
playing
meow.
against him in fantasy.
Meow, meow.
All right. Are we playing against him? Okay, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
I'll do some
Take your
Meow,
shirt
meow.
off.
signs.
Meow, meow.
Don't do that.
Shave your head if Mike Gesicki
Meow,
scores a
meow.
touchdown, just so I
Meow,
know.
meow.
Dude, my hair's getting long. You see how
I
long
know,
my hair
and
is?
it's getting
I gotta get a
longer.
haircut this
Meow,
weekend.
meow.
Do you have any hair? You're always wearing a hat. I always thought you were bald.
I am bald, but I do have hair.
I am bald.
I'm both those
You get-
things at the same time.
I have hair, but not much of it.
I'm getting a haircut next week, so I'm going to have a nice haircut when we record our next
You know,
episode.
I've
Whoa,
actually
who says
never
it's gonna be
seen
nice?
Ryan with a hat on. A hat off, I don't think.
No,
Next episode's going to be our Thanksgiving episode as
Did
well.
you
sleep
sleep
with
I
a
took it
hat?
off after we recorded last time, or did you leave already?
I don't remember.
Because I showed Alex my bald spot.
Oh,
yeah,
I remember
You
that.
didn't show me your bald spot.
That's okay.
Yeah.
You don't need to see it. I'm taller than you. You'll never see it.
Do you sleep with a
I was like-
beanie
No. Why would I sleep with a beanie?
so that no one sees your bald spot?
Oh, my wife's seen the back of my head before.
Whoa!
Whoa, jeez, dude. She's taller than
Miss
you.
Spicy.
Whatever. I can't do that. It's on YouTube. No, my wife is not taller than me. My wife's taller than you.
That's not hard. It's not
But she's
impressive.
she's 5'10".
Let's go. Sorry. I'm gonna try not to do that really.
As long as it's not Mike
I
Gesicki, I don't care.
will mute myself. Now.
What is Mike doing?
Hopefully not Gesickian.
We ready?
Hey, Chris, before we start, do you want to plug something that you're going to tomorrow for all of our viewers who are live?
No, they won't be able to go.
Okay,
What?
cool. So let's
No,
go
I was
ahead
gonna
and
talk
get
about
this
during.
episode
I was gonna
started.
talk about it during the episode.
Oh, okay.
Plug your whatnot.
Ow.
WhatsApp. Whatever. You hear me, Chris?
What'd you say? No, I didn't hear.
Plug
you.
your WhatsApp.
What?
WhatsApp.
WhatsApp?
WhatsApp.
My
Why you
whatnot?
say
you
it like
mean?
that?
Whatnot. Plug your
What's a
whatnot.
WhatsApp?
Before we get into the episode.
Okay. Before we get into the episode,
Yeah, because it's not related.
Recording
to
in
Dizneyverse or anything like
progress.
that.
it's Star Wars cards, bro. No, if you guys are watching and are interested in collectible cards, you can follow me on Whatnot at Chris Yob. It was Christopher
WhatsApp.
Yob, but it's not anymore. I changed it to Chris Yob, and I hate it because now whenever I buy something or come into a room, they go, "Hey, what's up, Chrissy?" I'm like, Chrissy's
Why?
not
Chrissy?
spelled with one S. because I
What?
think people were illiterate. I don't know.
I'm illiterate, and even I know what that means.
Yeah.
Why not?
What's that?
Anyway, you can follow
What?
me on Whatnot at Chris Yob. You don't even have to
Why
buy anything. You
not?
just hang out, and you can win giveaways.
That's what I do.
I've never done
I'm
it.
a literate human being.
Actually,
A literate
I
human
lied.
being.
I bought 2 cards from Chris already.
Alex did buy a couple cards for me.
Oh wow. Yeah, apparently Chris sends me stuff for free. It's pretty hype.
Oh
That's
yeah,
me too.
I got Mags a $50 Outback Steakhouse gift card for his birthday.
Whoa.
I was gonna say if I had the figurine last week, I would have had it up here at the screen because of Universe of Energy.
Oh, that's right. We'll have to wait till next Alex Trebek.
So we'll probably do a Jeopardy episode at some
Yeah.
point. I'll have to give Ryan a handicap for it, but
I have an idea for a game night or a game I want to do with you
all right.
guys.
Yeah. What game?
I can't tell you.
Strip
Oh.
poker.
Fun.
It's
Oh,
that.
thanks.
I have,
That was a very interesting thing for me to hear.
Well, let me tell you, it's going to be funny.
The next week's episode, which we're recording next week, about the Thanksgiving Day Disney parade
Massacre?
floats. I have
That's St. Valentine's Day.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
I
was thinking about
have-
the turkeys.
It's Pocahontas.
I'm having a game, but the game is taking
Veterans Day
place
on Monday.
during the history.
What are you doing during the
Oh,
history? Are you
shoot.
eating a Thanksgiving dinner?
Yeah, I'm gonna eat a whole Thanksgiving dinner while I
Dude.
record.
I think
That
that's a
would
good
be
idea.
so insane. We each
That's kind of
try
funny.
to
You
see
should do that.
who-
I like
as we
that.
all go through the episode, we see who can finish a full Thanksgiving meal the fastest.
I would win that.
Again, I would like to
Again,
remind everybody,
Alex would win that for sure.
I am the 30-wing champ. As a reminder,
That's right.
What does that even mean?
I ate 30 boneless wings in one sitting last
Boneless?
time my lab went to
It's like
Buffalo
half a
Wild
nugget.
Wings.
You don't even eat food.
Yeah.
I know. That's why
How
I had
did you eat
space
30
for
He
all
saves
30.
up. He saves
I had
up for
space for it.
B-dubs.
I am like a camel. Okay.
You have one hump.
I eat a lot of food.
You're like Mark
and then
Hamill.
I just store it. I am Mark Hamill. Yes.
The history is the game is in the history.
Is that
Oh,
is that
wow.
a riddle?
That's pretty cool.
No, that's a legit
Oh.
explanation.
I thought like, is it in you? Like the Gatorade slogan.
At this point,
What a
I think Chris
crazy
and
slogan,
Alex are the
actually.
only ones that have not won a game before.
I've won a game
What game did you win?
in my heart.
Okay.
You thought you won last time.
I'm still waiting on a recount.
Oh wait, no. Chris won the contemporary game.
It's right. I did. People forget that.
I guess we just need to get Alex a win now.
Oh no!
Good luck.
We ready? Yeah.
I
Good
played-
luck getting me a win.
Full disclosure, I lost my wedding band recording a couple weeks ago.
Oh, lost.
You have a real wedding band?
It's a silicone one, so I take it off
I got
and
one
play
too.
with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not real.
And
Yes,
Lose them and get new ones all the time.
so I dropped it on the and I had no idea where it went, so I had to order another one. So I'm playing with it now, and it fell on the floor. I was like, no, please,
This is
please let me
a-
find it.
This is a Deadpool one.
Mine's a Amazon one.
I have the Wolverine one too to go with this one.
I'm not rich like you, Ryan. I don't
My wife
sell
bought it for
metal
me, thank
art
you.
for a living.
I
Hey,
don't
howdy,
do it
hey,
for a living, I
welcome
can tell you
to
that.
Into the Dizneyverse, the show where we dive into the world of Disney, past, present, and future. Big episode 23 today. Very excited. And, of course, I am your host, Mags, joined by my fellow variants, Ryan. How you doing, Ryan?
I'm good.
And Chris Yob. How you doing, Chris Yob?
Doing great. We're live on YouTube, so I'm doing even better, Mags.
Awesome. And the one and only Dizneyverse Redbeard Alex. How you doing, Alex?
I'm doing amazing. Having a great night. My voice is not raspy at all. Let's go.
Now that you say it, it does sound a little
Yeah, what
raspy.
happened?
I coached. That's what happens. I yell from beginning to end.
Poor kids.
That's what a true coach does. He sacrifices himself for the team.
Right.
Now, Alex, how has your week in the world of Disney been?
It's been all right. My daughter's really into this new show. It's on Disney. It's called Primos, and it's interesting. It's a show. It's a cartoon about a Hispanic family, and it's based on a woman's life. She's the one who made the cartoon. She's the one who writes it, and it's about a summer she had where all of her primos, which means cousin in Spanish, all her primos came and visited for one summer, and that meant she had like 12 kids come stay in our house for the summer. So the show is about her, dealing with having 12 other kids in the house with her and her two siblings.
That doesn't
So
sound
for a moment, I
interesting at
thought you
all,
were
actually.
watching a show about a knockoff version of Prime. It's an Amazon Prime. So.
Cheaper by the dozen.
I was gonna say
No.
that. Yeah.
No, it's called Primos. It's pretty good. We like it.
Very cool. Very cool. Is it like a Disney Channel show or is it a Disney Plus original?
I think it's an actual cable show, but it's on Disney Plus.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. Anything else from you?
That will be it.
Awesome. How about you, Ryan?
I'm sorry. We are going to Disney
gosh,
this weekend. I'm sorry.
okay.
It's my
We
turn
are
now. It's
we
my
are
turn.
going to Disney this weekend. So next week I'll have an update.
Oh, perfect, perfect. I'm looking forward to next week's episode. Looking forward to hearing that from
Yeah,
you.
we're going on Sunday. Disney.
Oh, that'll be fun. That'll be fun. Good day to go to the parks too.
Yeah, we're
Not
going
as
for the
busy as
parade.
the Saturdays. So, oh, that'll be fun. That'll tie in perfectly to next week's episode as well. Chris,
Oh,
how
you're
about you?
right.
Yeah. Chris, how about you?
So I actually entered a Disney Lorcana, the trading card game. I entered a Disney Lorcana tournament at my local card shop.
Did
I
you
came
really?
I came in third place.
How many people were there?
Wow.
There was 75 people.
No way.
Yeah, 75. I
You
came
don't
in
even
third
play
place.
Lorcana.
Yeah, I know. That was a total lie, but it sounded like a really cool thing I did this week in Disney, huh?
It's a 7.
Like you guys are like really impressed. You guys are really impressed. No, I did nothing this week actually. So I fabricated that story this week in Disney.
the whole thing.
Wow. This might be the shortest segment Chris has ever had for what he did in the world of Disney.
No, he never does anything, but he still drones
I
on
don't-
about something.
I
Yeah.
can't believe we actually had a time when Alex had a longer what he did in Disney than Chris did. This is incredible. All right, Ryan, Alex, close your eyes. Let's savor in the moment.
I could tell you about the
No,
live
it's
All
not.
stream.
right, Ryan,
It's
how
not
did?
next.
What was
Move
your
on.
week in Disney like, Ryan?
I didn't do a whole lot this week. It's been a very busy week. I started a new artwork for one of our Patreon members, which is Spider-Man
Oh.
themed.
Oh, what?
Yeah, besides that, that's really about it.
My son's gonna be so jealous when I show
I'll
it
send
to
you a
him.
picture of it.
That Cobra one was so cool.
Yeah.
My dad
Okay,
would love
well.
that. He loves Cobras.
Well, do you want to spend a couple $100?
No. But someone should, because those look amazing.
Oh, that one's already sold.
I know.
But that was it for me. I didn't do a whole lot this week.
Awesome, awesome, nice restful week, hopefully, at least from the world of Disney.
Yeah, anything up but. What about you, Mags? What'd you do this week?
Ah, thanks
not
for
your birthday,
asking,
is it?
Ryan.
I always
No,
forget
not
to
my
ask
birthday.
the host.
At least Ryan remembers. I appreciate it,
It
Ryan.
got real awkward for a second.
I know. I was just
Like just all
staring
staring
at you
at
guys
each
to
other.
see. I did the reverse of what I did earlier. I just started talking to start the episode. Thought that you guys were just going to continue talking, and then everyone stopped talking. I was like, all right, I guess we're starting at for real here. So
Yeah, I like that.
for me, in the world of Disney, I finished the season of Only Murders in the Building. Great
Oh,
season
wow.
as always. I finished the season of Agatha All Along. Very surprising ending. Not what I expected. That show grew on me so much more than I thought it would.
Is it a
Beginning, I was
must
like,
watch?
this is okay. If
I haven't
you
seen it yet.
enjoyed,
so-
if you watched and enjoyed WandaVision, I
Yeah.
would consider Agatha a must-watch. It's not a
Okay.
must-watch in the sense that you're going to need to know the show forwards, backwards, and upside down for the next Avengers movie, but it's a thoroughly enjoyable show, and I liked watching it around Halloween season.
Okay, cool.
I need to finish that. I got 2 more episodes.
I enjoyed it. Unfortunately, that is more than I can say for a film that I watched this past weekend, which is very tangentially related to Disney. I watched with my extra date.
Hold on. You're breaking up. You got to redo that. When you're about to explain what you're watching, you start breaking
You
up.
sounded like you were connecting to dial-up.
Oh, Lord.
Come on.
Still going.
Again?
I think it was an internet issue. Keep going.
Okay. I'm not
Yeah, you're
seeing
back.
the internet.
You're good. You're good.
All right, cool. Good to know. Trying to remember where I was.
The
So
movie you
this
didn't like.
past weekend, so I found Agatha All Along very enjoyable. Unfortunately, that's not exactly what I can say for a film that I watched this past weekend. I watched about half of it with my extra hour due to daylight savings. I went to theaters to see Venom: The Last Dance.
Oh.
You watched half of it?
Well, half of it was in that extra hour.
That's
other
a really
half.
weird way to put it.
Alex rubbing off
wouldn't-
on you, watching movies 1 hour at a time.
I wouldn't want to just spend my, 2 full hours of my day on that movie. So
That's very
one of it
intricate
was on
planning.
borrowed time. The other one was just on normal
That's
time.
fair.
You know what? I was so upset when I woke up the next day and realized I wasted that extra hour in the night. I just slept through it. So mad.
I didn't. I went to work.
But for me, the Venom films, I've enjoyed the first 2 quite a bit. Tom Hardy carries those movies on his back, truthfully, in my opinion. The Last Dance was very much carried entirely on his back. It was strange seeing Chiwetel Ejiofor in the film.
What'd you call me?
And Rhys Ifans in the film, both of whom have played other Marvel characters and playing completely different characters. Multiverse was really not even brought up, especially in the beginning. Especially weird to have those 2 actors in the film. It was just kind of existed for me.
Now that's not Dizneyverse canon, right?
It is multiverse from the MCU because Tom Hardy was in the universe of Spider-Man at the end of No Way Home.
Yes.
Was he? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's, again, very tangential, but there were parts that I enjoyed. Don't need to see it in theaters, though, if you haven't seen it already. Wait for it to release elsewhere. So it was an experience. And then the following morning, again, not super Disney related, but I went to the zoo. Had a great time there. Saw a fish that looked like Dory.
Oh.
Saw some other animals that you would often see in Disney movies, Lion King style stuff. They had an area called Pride Rock, which was kind of funny. So,
wow.
Oh, did one fall off it?
The lions were just kind of resting on the ground. I'm assuming they didn't fall.
Okay. Scar survived when he fell off. I just wanted to point that out.
Good for him. Good for him. Keep telling yourself that. Claude Frollo, too?
No, Scar survived the fall. It was the hyenas that killed him.
Ah.
Yeah.
I see. It was the fire that killed Frollo, then?
I don't know.
Spoiler alert.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I was just going to watch that after we recorded.
You were going to watch Hunchback of Notre Dame right after we finish recording tonight?
No, I thought that was the Three Musketeers. Never mind. Keep going.
At least you actually did your punishment. You were supposed to perform Hellfire, but then you did your whole song the next week.
I did Hellfire.
I don't know that we ever actually saw Alex's disco song, but that's fine.
That variant died, actually, so.
This is true.
Man.
This is true.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Now, when we talk about going through Disney history, like we do on this show quite a bit, we usually start around, I don't know, somewhere in the 80s typically. Sometimes we start a little bit later in the 2010s. Sometimes we start a little bit further in the past, 1940s. Today's history is likely the oldest history that we're ever going to talk about on the show because we're starting back in 1901.
Whoa.
Holy smokes.
1901. Ryan, how was 1901? Did you like it?
Everything was black and white.
Was it really?
Yeah, they didn't invent color until like the 30s or 40s.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We all wore our pants really high up.
On today's episode, we are going to be diving into the first films that Walt Disney ever made. Oswald the Lucky Rabbit is a character that's become pretty famous in recent years. A lot of Disney fans know that Oswald was created by Walt Disney before Mickey Mouse.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that most Disney fans don't know about Walt's filmmaking history before Oswald. Did any of you 3 know about that?
No.
But I did hear rumors, whispers, if you will, that
No, you didn't.
Oswald was a character created by the USSR to infiltrate the West.
American West? Like California?
Yeah, Max, can you confirm or deny that?
I can absolutely deny that.
Okay, so confirmed.
The USSR
Oswald
was more focused on its first 10 years being a nation.
All right, then Oswald the Rabbit, as you know, if you're watching this on
not
YouTube
Lucky anymore?
or Lucky the Rabbit, Oswald Lucky Rabbit, confirmed American icon, not Soviet spy. I just had to touch on that because that's the title and the thumbnail on our YouTube video. So thank you, Mags, for clearing that up.
Still don't know why you wrote that title.
Because we had to confirm it here. You heard it here first. Literally, you heard it here first. Not a Soviet spy.
No one else has ever spoke about it. So
no one has ever touched on that. We asked the critical questions here, and we also answer them. Mags, thank you very much.
Well, you may have heard that first here. The city of Chicago saw Walt Disney first on December 5th, 1901. That's when Walt Disney was born in Chicago, Illinois. He was the 4th son of a Canadian immigrant, Elias Disney, and his American wife, Flora Disney. Interestingly enough, the nation of origin of Walt Disney's father was a trivia question in our Discord today, posed by our very own Ryan.
That's
if you want to
purely by
participate
coincidence.
in our somewhat daily trivia questions, you can go ahead and join our Patreon over at patreon.com/Dizneyverse. That's DIZNEYVERSE for as low as $2 a month.
Who is Canuck? A Canuck, huh? So yeah, Walt is half Canuck.
Just like me. I'm like Roy Disney.
You are?
Yes, because my grandfather also came from Canada. We're basically the same person.
Nice. So you're like Roy, you're not like Walt?
Well, that was his father. My father didn't come from Canada.
About Roy.
Wait, you mean Elias Disney?
Elias came from Ontario.
Canada.
Yeah. And then he had Walt.
Yeah.
Who would be my father.
Walt's your dad?
I wish. And then Roy, well, I guess I wouldn't be. I'd be his uncle.
What are you talking about right now?
Did you say
what are you doing?
Roy Jr.?
I am Roy Disney. Not senior, junior.
You're Roy
Jr.
Disney?
Talking about Roy Jr. is what you talking about. He's saying he's Roy Jr., making his grandfather Walt's father.
Why are you just telling us this?
And you are your own grandpa?
I love that song.
No, I'm from North Carolina, but it doesn't go like that.
You have become deeply confusing.
I thought you said you were from... Okay. Wow, this is groundbreaking. First, Oswald
my grandfather was
not
Canadian.
a Soviet spy.
Right.
Ryan confirmed Disney.
Yeah, sure. Basically.
Mags, who are you?
We know about my ancestor.
Oh, yeah, he knew my grandfather, too.
Got to join the Discord if you want to know that little fun fact.
That one's going to need to get...
No, nobody knows that story.
For the listeners, we found out recently, 0.1% Japanese.
And my grandfather was, in fact, at Pearl Harbor. So our grandfathers may have briefly met.
Well, yeah, I think by the time that my grandfather was born, that 0.1% may have been like 0.4%. So still very small percentage.
It's even better odds. I'm still mad at your grandfather for killing my grandfather. No, he didn't die, though, for attacking my grandfather.
We have gotten so off track here. It's not even... We haven't even gotten to the third slide of my PowerPoint. So...
Not my fault this time, actually. Do you want to point that out?
At the age of 4, Walt and his family moved to Marceline, Missouri. Any of y'all been there?
Yes.
No, I've heard of Marceline, not Marceline.
No, I've never been there.
I just read it.
Is that down the boulevard?
Boulevard.
You know, the funny part is I should know how to pronounce it because I've been there. I've literally been to this city. And the main street there is a little bit underwhelming.
But it's based on, well,
Disney's
Main Street's based on now.
He took some liberties. But regardless, while living there, a young Walt Disney was paid to draw a neighbor's horse. He learned that he really enjoyed drawing and sketching, so he started to copy cartoons that he saw in the newspaper. At the age of 10...
Well, why was he paid to draw a horse?
He's good at drawing. What do you mean?
Did they know?
Like, I'll give you 20 cents if you draw my horse.
Exactly.
Draw me. The horse?
Maybe the horse was a beloved family pal. You ever think about that?
Maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Now I bet you feel real bad.
Yeah.
Real bad to the horse. You should make a public apology to horses right now.
I'm sorry, horses.
I bet you it wasn't 20 cents. I bet you it was a nickel.
Oh, I bet it was less than that. It was like half a penny.
Now, in 1911, at the age of 10, Walt and his family moved to Kansas City, Missouri. And Walt starts to take some Saturday courses at the Kansas City Art Institute. He's a little bit older around this time in his teenage years. He starts learning how to draw. Then his family moves back to Chicago, and he becomes the cartoonist of his high school newspaper. 1918, the United States has entered World War I, a war that we know for a fact the Madrigals did not help in, sadly, even though they had the power to.
We need to make a shirt. World War I could have been shorter if the Madrigals would have stepped up.
We did find out that the soldiers that have perished during that war did, in fact, haunt their house.
And you know, one of the people who was involved in that war was Walt Disney. But at this time, he was only 17. He was too young to go off to war. So he decided to fake his age and falsify his papers.
Oh, snap.
Oh, he's basically Captain America.
He's a war criminal.
He is. He became an ambulance driver. And he started to draw, created some more drawings and cartoons, and he decided to put those and submit them into the Army newspaper, Stars and Stripes. If you're curious about some of those cartoons, for those who are watching on YouTube, you can see them on the screen here. Some of Walt Disney's first drawings that were published.
Ryan's in the bottom right one.
We're in the middle.
If you're confused about why we're on YouTube, every first Thursday of the month, we're on YouTube Live. So if you don't know, now you know.
Me and Alex.
Finish the lyrics.
What does it say? Get off and stay off. Comrade.
All right, Mags.
Propaganda.
Mags. I want you to incorporate Hawk Tua somewhere in this history, very subliminally.
Okay.
No.
It's a long history, so I'll find a place for it. After the war, Walt Disney turns to Kansas City and he continues drawing. He also befriends an artist in the. Anyone know who that artist was?
Oh yeah, his 2 initials, right?
His first name is 2 letters.
Yes, Eb Eworks.
Close.
Eworks.
Eworks.
That's what I said with an accent, the Canadian accent.
So
my grandfather.
Walt and his brother Roy and decide that they're going to try to make their own studio in Kansas City. In 1920, Walt convinces theater owner Frank Newman to show snippets of a piece of animation that they've created in weekly newsreels. Oh, is it? Anyway. And for those watching, this is that original cartoon.
It looks real.
Just wait.
It's a film.
I'll keep it playing as I go through the
Guy
history.
playing a harmonica.
No.
So these snippets of cartoons became Newman's Laugh-O-Grams, so named because they were played at Newman's studios. They included advertising and different topical humor from the day. Only the pilot reel survives. It's only about 3.5 minutes or so. Nonetheless, this series of 12 different cartoons became quite a hit. And it seemed like Walt and Roy and were going to have significant success in Kansas City.
I wish I could draw like that.
Unfortunately, in the year of 1921, the 3 of them were laid off from the advertising company that they were working for. Luckily, they did have some remaining funds from the iWorks Disney commercial artists, and they decided to form the Laugh-O-Grams studio. They spent 6 months on the first film in this new series that they were created. My God, Ryan.
You see that ad?
Yeah.
Sorry, I
You
had
can
to.
pause for a moment if y'all are interested in actually viewing these so we can talk about these cartoons.
I'm also screen sharing on YouTube, so
How much?
Did that show up?
Yes.
Yep.
I
I
we're
didn't know
watching
you were
this-
screen sharing.
This ad is the ad was interesting.
So what do you guys think about these Newman's Laugh-O-Grams that we're seeing? Walt Disney's first ever film.
Not super funny.
kind of
No.
sucks, honestly.
I mean, the art style is cool. Like,
For me, it gets a big doom.
Doom.
I hate you so
I-
much for saying that right now.
I do not find it funny. It looks more like not a comedy, but just an ad. Would you say it was?
That's literally what it was. They weren't even really animated for the most part.
No,
Yeah.
they just
But
him
many of them were
drawing.
just a dude doing a drawing.
Yeah, time lapse,
Yeah.
which is all the rage nowadays.
Yep. I do them all
Was-
the time.
Walt Disney was kind of ahead of his time.
They really like drawing this guy getting kicked out of things. He's always like, "Oh, now he's falling out of a car."
It's Lee Harvey Oswald. Last one's actually animated.
Oh, there you go. Oh, it is.
Wow, the detail's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wouldn't if you like if you
Oh,
played music behind it and showed it to people, people would not guess it was made in the 1920s.
There is actually music behind it. I just have it muted for
Oh,
our
yeah.
sake so that we can talk. But
Now it is, you know, as the joking aside, it is pretty good for a 1921 for sure.
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
I don't know how.
I'm
I'm assuming all of that's
goes.
probably going to get cut because that doesn't really make sense in the podcast. Anyone have anything they'd like to say after viewing the original Newman's Laugh-O-Grams pilot?
I don't think I would be laughing.
Yeah, not very
Yeah,
laughable.
the name is misleading.
It's more like
It's fair.
Newman's infogram.
Yeah, Newman's somewhat entertaining cartoon.
Disappointing, but it's Walt's first film. I mean, there's a big difference between that film and we look at the most recent Disney film, Wish. Look how far Walt's company came in
How far will it
about
go?
110 years or so. Not even just under 110 years.
Still not funny.
What, we're still I mean, cartoons nowadays are funny.
How about Wish? Wish wasn't funny.
Wish wasn't. I mean, it had some funny moments.
I wish it was better.
It wasn't bad.
Walt worked for 6 months on the first film in this new Laugh-O-Gram series. The idea was that it would be a modern retelling of Little Red Riding Hood. Walt had been fascinated with fairy tales since he was a young child, and he wanted to look at trying to bring those into the modern world, something that had been pretty popular in that time frame. Unfortunately, financial troubles reigned throughout the studio. As 1922 ended, Walt is living in his office. He bathes only once a week over at Union Station.
That's a lot back then.
It's a lot in Ryan's household.
It's about every 2 weeks.
Now, at this point, they're continuing to make films, but they don't know if they're actually going to be able to sell them. Luckily, they had a sales manager named Leslie Mace. Leslie Mace signed a contract with the company called Pictorial. Pictorial was based out of Tennessee, and they decided to sign this contract for 6 different animated shorts. They said that they would pay the company, the Laugh-O-Grams company, $11,000. That would be $200,231 today. It was thought that these different shorts, which would each be based on a different fairy tale, would be shown in different schools. However, they would only be paying that $11,000 once all the cartoons had been finished, and they only paid $100 in advance. Meanwhile, the Laugh-O-Gram studios had to go ahead and complete all 7 of their cartoons. So
That's
we've got
fair.
one of those playing currently, the Little Red Riding Hood one, and you can see it's very simplistic still, but certainly better than what we saw previously with the Newman side of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Still don't know how
definitely
Red
it's
Riding
more
Hood-
animation than
Yeah, more animation, but I don't know how it's Red Riding Hood. But we'll
right
see.
there. It's Red Riding Hood. I mean, there's no color.
There's parts that are a little bit strange. You're going to notice that there's no big bad wolf. It's replaced by... How do I say
get a
this
dog
so
that
that we
can change
can...
a tire.
I'm trying to figure out how I say this so that we can have it on the show. The wolf is replaced by a creeper.
Like
There
from
he is.
Minecraft.
We would call him something else if we weren't recording.
You might.
Scott.
Essentially.
Oh,
No, it's
So hit this
it's
guy here, right?
Some
Yes.
weird man
Yeah. Okay.
instead of a wolf.
I see what we're
guess.
saying now.
Yes.
What is he
It's
doing?
strange. And we can jump to another one if y'all are interested in seeing how they started to develop. This is the first one. We want to go ahead. We can jump to the Cinderella version. It's interesting comparing the Cinderella one to the Cinderella that the studio would eventually make in 1950.
I know we're not. I know we're on YouTube, but this is also a podcast.
True. And we're just getting some ideas of what we've got here. So
Which one is this supposed to be?
this one's Cinderella.
Okay.
Everybody
So
has a
we've gone
cat.
ahead. We've gone ahead and viewed a couple of the different Laugh-O-Grams cartoons, and you can see that there's a significant development between the cartoons from the oldest ones to the final ones that the company would make. Now, it's worth noting that as the company continued to make these films, they're starting to get better at animation, especially iWorks and
Yeah.
Disney. Now, unfortunately, after all of these cartoons were completed, Pictorial, the company that was supposed to pay Disney, went bankrupt. They went bankrupt and they were unable to pay anything beyond the $100 they paid the company, which meant that Laugh-O-Grams had 7 cartoons and they basically got no money for any of them. Most of the
Wow.
staff ended up leaving the department, and that was it. it looked like it was the end of the road for the Disney Brothers and for iWorks.
Wow.
You can see that as we look throughout these cartoons as well, Walt is learning directly from an animation textbook. He's going very by the book, but he's able to start learning on how to develop his animation style, which I think is really cool. He's becoming more creative, and this really sets the framework for everything that would come beyond that in his eventual studio that he would found. It's also worth noting that many of these cartoons were lost initially, and there was a quest to find many of them. Jack and the Beanstalk was privately owned for decades and only recently released to the public. Many of them were released under other names in the 1930s and had to be refound. For example, Goldilocks and the Three Bears was known as the Peroxide Kid.
The Peroxide Kid. Okay.
That was my nickname in middle school, actually.
Yeah, they called you the Peroxide Kid?
Yeah.
Why'd they call you that?
Like paper cuts. So I had
Oh.
to use peroxide, yeah. I did not know how to use index cards.
Nice. I also think one of the things that's super fun about these cartoons is the modernization for the 1920s. Even in the chat, Sierra is noticing that Cinderella is a flapper in the cartoon, for an example. So it's very fun. Very fun. Anyone have any final thoughts on the Laugh-O-Grams cartoons?
Not really. I mean, they're different.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, at this point, Laugh-O-Grams is dead and gone. Walt and Roy and Up have very little money. They find a local dentist. The local dentist wants an ad, so they make a live-action cartoon short called Tommy Tucker's Tooth. They get paid $500, and Walt has two options. He can either pay off his debts, or he can invest in another film. What do you guys think he did?
Well, he invested in another film. That's
Unfortunately, his brother did not want this to happen, but he invested.
He put it on the horses.
He absolutely invested in another film. He was inspired by the Out of the Inkwell series that was being made at this time, which put animation into the real world, into live action. It was pretty popular, and Walt decides to take that idea and flip it around with the Alice's Wonderland cartoon. Alice's Wonderland would star young actress Virginia Davis, who was only 7 years old at the time. In 1923, Walt Disney signed a contract with her parents, giving her 5% of the film's profits. The idea was that it would take this live character, a young girl, based to an extent on the character Alice from Alice in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll, a favorite book of Walt Disney's. It would place Alice in this animated world. And finally, as the raw edits were being finished, Walt once again ran out of money. He had to apply for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. This was the final film that would be made at the Laugh-O-Gram studio. And Walt didn't know what he was going to do. Alice's Wonderland would never be released to the public. But Disney made one final live-action short film called Martha. It's lost to time. Nobody's ever been able to find it. It was essentially just Walt Disney shooting a live film of a 6-month-old baby. And that made Walt enough money to get a one-way ticket on a train to California.
Wait, hold on.
You have a baby?
Can you
I'm getting
repeat
some
that?
ideas.
What was it? It was a video of what?
It was a 6-month-old baby.
My
No,
daughter
what
turns
was
6
it?
next week.
People don't know much more about it because it's completely lost.
But I'm sorry. I just want you to reiterate everything you said just a second ago. It was a video. It was a animation, or it was like
live
this
action.
live.
It was a live action video of a 6-month-old baby.
Okay, I will try to figure out. Am I confusing here or what's out?
No. I think Alex is confused.
Yeah, I'm just confused. Sorry.
It's just
I'm
a video
also-
of a baby.
No.
It's
How
like
is
the
there a
first
market
Vine or
for
whatever.
that? It's the first Vine.
I think that. Well, they didn't have home video at the time, so I think that maybe this was a way for the family to get a video of their child or something. I don't know. Maybe they were rich. What's Martha up to these days?
I'm not gonna
super
say.
dead.
Yeah, most definitely he's dead.
Yeah.
I mean, she might not be. She was 6 months old in 1923, so
Yeah.
she could still be alive today.
Not too much trauma happened in the last
she's
100
not,
years.
She's not 101.
Hear me out. If we
She's
can
dead.
find Martha, we can ask her what that movie was about.
Okay, I'll get Martha on the podcast if she's still alive.
Yes. We need Martha on a future episode.
I can't promise that. Got a Ouija board?
And we're back to Agatha all along.
Oh,
Yep.
spoilers.
It's not that big of a
Now,
spoiler.
Walt's luck started to turn around. Pictorial was forced to pay the money that they owed to Disney.
Oh,
Really?
Yep. And Disney still loved the idea that he had with this Alice film. So he decided to create a whole series about Alice. Once again, Alice was going to be entering into different animated worlds. Walt also found some luck because he met distributor Margaret Winkler over in New York. Margaret Winkler and her husband ended up founding the company Winkler Pictures. Her husband's name was Charles Mintz. He's an important character we'll talk about a little bit, so don't forget about Charles Mintz. But Margaret Winkler was kind enough to believe in Disney. Also, though, Charles Mintz was a bit of a hothead, and he got into a big argument and had a falling out with Pat Sullivan. Pat Sullivan was the creator behind the Felix the Cat series. So Winkler Pictures loses Felix the Cat, their big moneymaker, and they don't know which way to turn. Luckily, they think that Walt might be the next big thing for them. So what they do is they say, all right, Walt, we believe in you. We're going to fund you to go ahead and make this new series. And Walt, in turn, wants to get Virginia Davis back. So Walt pays for Virginia Davis and her entire family to move to Los Angeles.
Dang. Where'd you get the money?
From Winkler.
I guess, yeah.
Maggie Winkler. What do you think Maggie Winkler's doing these days?
Also,
Deader than the 6-month-old.
oh my God.
what's going on with this guy's face? Is this facial hair on his neck?
What, Popeye?
He looked so weird.
It's called a beard.
He looked weird.
All four of us have one.
Yeah, his looked weird. That's interesting. That I think I knew the Felix Cat information, but I kind of forgot it, and it's funny because it's like, so he replaced Felix Cat, and he was like, "What am I gonna do?" Oh, I know.
So you know how Felix the Cat, they had the clocks for Felix the Cat?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I would love one of Oswald.
That would be very cool.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Oh my gosh, what is this nightmare?
3 Little Bears.
This is a Mickey Mouse sweatshop? What is
They're
this?
making meth, apparently.
Yes, they are. I'm pretty sure they're making alcohol here. Yeah, they're
okay.
they're literally
That's cool.
distilling alcohol.
They're moonshiners.
Wow, dude, 1927 is awesome.
Brewing, yeah.
So Walt was now able to buy a studio with this new money from Winkler, and he started work on the full series that he would call the Alice comedies. The first short, outside of the original one, of course, from the Laugh-O-Gram studio, was made in 1924. It was called Alice's Day at Sea. A later cartoon in the series called Alice the Peacemaker would include the return of a cat named Mike. This cat had originally been seen in a lot of the Laugh-O-Gram films that were made in those fairy tale series. This character would eventually become Walt's first recurring animated character with a name, after he would officially be named Julius the Cat in the film Alice's Eggplant. It's extremely worth noticing and noting 2 things about Julius the Cat. The first thing to note is that Julius the Cat started out as Alice's sidekick, but in later cartoons, he would become the main character. Before Mickey Mouse, there was Oswald. But before Oswald, there was Julius the Cat. The second thing to note is that copyright law was extremely loose back in the 1920s. Look it up for yourself. Look up a picture of Julius the Cat, then look up a picture of Felix the Cat. It's very, very, very interesting comparing the two of them.
Now I have to Google it.
Julius the Cat looks nothing like
Felix.
nothing like Felix the Cat.
It's nothing like Felix?
Just
No.
like Felix the Cat.
Exactly.
I guess I see the differences.
I think you may have looked maybe a different Julius.
No, it's Julius the Cat. I just
The one that you're seeing on the screen right now?
Oh, like this is Oscar the Cat. I'm sorry. Yeah, they look exactly the same.
Oh, that's Julius on the screen. I Googled it, but I didn't realize he was on the screen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they look fairly identical.
I mean, they're black cats. What are you gonna do?
I mean, yeah. This
Why do you
one's
think they were so obsessed with cat main characters back then?
Because cats are cool, man.
Are you a cool cat, Alex?
No.
Yeah, everybody wants to be a cat.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty easy to draw. I'm not gonna lie. I think a cat's probably the easiest animal to draw besides a snake.
And see, it's interesting because Walt was really focused on films with dogs later on. He didn't love films with cats. It's one reason he would push off the Aristocats. He preferred things like Lady and the Tramp, 101 Dalmatians. So it's
He's a
kind of
dog
crazy that but he started with a cat.
It all
It didn't
started
all
with a
start with the
cat.
mouse, nor did it all. It all started with a
Sorry.
cat.
I stole. You were building up to that, and I stole it. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
That would have been epic.
That would have been pretty epic. Now, 14 cartoons were made with Virginia Davis starring as Alice. It's worth noting that after Virginia Davis finished out with the role, one cartoon was made with actress Dawn O'Day, and 31 were made with Margie Gay. However, around that same time period, there was still archive footage of Virginia Davis, and so they took just straight archive footage of Virginia Davis and put it in the film Alice in the Jungle and made another Alice cartoon out of footage they already had with Virginia Davis. Finally, after the 31 films with Margie Gay, 10 were made with Lois Hardwick starring as Alice. 57 films in the series were made in total, quite a lot. 16 of those are currently lost. Completely lost, no footage at all that is known to exist. And one of those cartoons is only about half found. The other half has been destroyed, which is a little bit sad to think that some of the earliest work by Walt Disney no longer exists out there.
Yeah, it's really sad.
Yeah, but who was Walt Disney back then? He was just a nobody.
He was only
Understandable.
about like 19, 20 around this
Yeah.
time.
No,
It's
he was not
understandable.
for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was born in
Jesus.
1901. If we're talking with his earliest ones in, 1924?
That's
So
crazy.
he was 23 at the time. Right when he was making these, he was same age I am now.
That's why I keep everything that I ever do. Like I even kept my my I voted sticker from the other day in a card saver with the date, just in case I become famous one day. Then they'd be like, "Oh wow, like this is the
To write who
sticker
you voted
that
for on it?
he got." I voted for against the sale of the sewer for my township.
Congratulations, by the
you
way.
had Thank you.
I know
you've
you were
had
talking
sewer
about that on
issues
the show a
before.
few
Yes,
weeks ago.
huge victory. Thank you. I've been celebrating.
Now, as the cartoons continued out for a wide variety of years, up until 1927, there was a pretty significant change in the styles of their cartoons. It started out with a pretty significant amount of live action and then really focused entirely on the animation. And the live action Alice would appear for very small portions in the film. It's worth noting that as you go through these films, you can see as well how it really did influence a lot of the future films that Disney would make, putting animated portions in live action worlds, live action aspects in animated worlds is something that Disney wouldn't experiment a lot with until Song of the South, which we'll be talking about in a few weeks, Mary Poppins later on, Bedknobs and Broomsticks following Disney's death, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Enchanted. So it's really neat to see how this early film really would influence later films. However, in
crazy.
1927, the Alice comedies would finally end after that 57th film. For two main reasons. First, high costs. You're trying to put live action and animation together, which means that you're essentially doubling the amount of work that you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Additionally, the novelty of the whole process had worn off at that point. So the Alice comedies were scrapped. They're all in the public domain currently, at least all of them that are known to exist. But Walt decided to turn to full-time animation. And once again, working with the Winkler Pictures, Winkler had been contacted by Universal. Universal Studios wanted some films from Winkler, but they felt that there were too many cats in the world, so they suggested a rabbit. Of course, the rest is, to an extent, history. Winkler then approaches Walt Disney, and they decide to create a character. iWorks decided to rework Julius the cat into a rabbit named Oswald, and he creates the cartoon Poor Papa. But Universal felt that the Oswald in that film was too old. A younger version of Oswald was created, and he would star in his first ever film that would be released, called Trolley Troubles.
Ah,
It
I
will be
watched
released in 1927. So you watched this one, Ryan. What's
Yes,
your
I just
opinion
watched
on the
this.
first ever Oswald film?
It's actually really enjoyable. Sitting there watching it, there's no, of course,
Yeah.
no talking during it, but it has music. I enjoyed it. It was really relaxing just sitting there watching it.
I have a
I
fun. Go ahead, Alex. You
I
talk first.
I watched this with my kids like maybe not even a month ago,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
and they really liked it. They really enjoyed the short.
It was an interesting end when all the kids fly out of the train. He just flies off into a river. But besides that, pretty good.
So, fun little fact about this: Oswald the Lucky Rabbit is in the public domain, so you can use his image on anything you want. So, I have a transportation company, and so I was looking into like transportation styled cartoons in the public domain. And so, my one of the shirts that I designed for myself and some of my employees was Oswald the Lucky Rabbit in his conductor hat with the overalls on, and I put the orange on him because that's our color. So I used it from Trolley Trouble.
Oh wow. Oh, that's really cool. So we've talked about a few different Disney created characters: Oswald, Julius. Of course, there's Mickey Mouse who comes along later. Out of the four of us, who would be which character? Whose personality matches whose?
Ooh.
We need a fourth one.
Yeah.
Alice.
Okay.
All
Mortimer?
right, Alice. Somebody's Alice.
All right. Chris is Alice.
I think I would be
Yeah.
Alice. Yeah.
Definitely.
Goody Two Shoes. Mickey Mouse is Mags,
Yeah. Absolutely.
and then what's left is Oswald and
Julius.
Julius.
Ooh.
Who's the troublemaker?
I think it seems
I
like
mean,
Oswald
Oswald
talks more
just
than
punched
Julius.
a guy on our screen.
So
Yeah.
Oswald's a little bit mean. Who's a little bit mean?
Oh, that'd be me.
yeah, so that's Ryan.
Ryan might be Oswald, and I think
Yeah.
Alex. I think that would make sense. You being Julius. You know, you're pretty chill, but then when people come at you, you're like, no, don't do that, and they're like,
Yeah.
okay.
Ryan's also old enough to be in the public domain, so that would.
That's true. That is absolutely true. I would rather you don't put me on the t-shirts for your
Yeah.
business.
I,
But if you
I, I
want
will
to,
not. Yeah, I'm trying to sell them.
charge extra.
Also, I think a lot of people think that, oh, Walt Disney made so many Oswald cartoons. He only made 26,
Yeah, it's
far
not that
less.
much.
Yeah, only about half of what he made of the Alice comedies. And it only went on for a year from 1927 to 1928. However, they became extremely popular. One reason was because of Iwerks' drawing skills. He had a great skill with perspective. Another reason was that Walt Disney was really focused on the story. He wanted Oswald to be the main character, unlike with the Alice comedies where Julius could often be sidelined. Because of that, the films are felt to have a superior quality to most. Although they were superior to a lot of the different films that were being made around that time, still, 6 of them are still lost today. However, one might also ask, how was Walt able to turn out 26 films in 1 year when it took him, 3 years to produce 57 films originally for the Alice comedies? Well, he developed an assembly line system for the creation of these films, for how they were drawn, for how the stories were written, so that they were essentially able to crank them out almost like clockwork, a few each month. He also developed one of the very first marketing and merchandising campaigns for a cartoon character when he created the Oswald the Lucky Rabbit chocolate bar in 1927.
Oh.
He even started to create a whole series of characters around Oswald, the most famous of which was a cat named Hortensia. It was Oswald's first and only main love interest. However, that cartoon where Hortensia was originally introduced in is lost today.
That's crazy.
Now,
I wonder how they got lost.
very crazy. It's really sad.
I just not taking care of the sheets when they were done making
Well, they didn't
them.
think it'd be worth anything.
They should have
What do you-
chipped them.
They would be worth something today.
But they didn't think so. They're not like,
Well,
oh, in
yeah,
80
no, but
years,
like-
these are going to be worth a lot.
I know, but they kept some of them, so like they were keeping
Yeah,
some
they were
of them.
stored away somewhere decent, and then the other ones got rained on.
Yeah.
Very true. So, in 1928, Walt Disney leaves on a trip to New York. As he's leaving, Iwerks tells him that Mintz is about to sign a new contract with Universal. At this point, Mintz is their main go-to contact Margaret Winkler isn't as involved in the company anymore. But Walt's not concerned about this new contract with Universal. He wants to go talk to Mintz and ask if he can get more money per short. At this point, they're getting $2,250 per short, and they're really putting in quite a bit of effort in technological advances in their films. He wants to ask for $2,500 per short. Walt goes on his train. He goes to New York City, and when he goes to New York City, he sits down with Mintz, and Mintz tells him a couple of things that are going to change Walt's life forever. One thing that Mintz tells him is that Mintz is now the full boss of Walt's studio. That's right, Walt's no longer in charge. Mintz is fully taking over. That also means that Mintz entirely owns Oswald now. There's also a common misconception that Universal completely stole Oswald from Disney. That's not the case. It was Mintz with Winkler Pictures. Additionally, Mintz says, I'm giving you less money per short now. Instead of the $2,250, Mintz says, I'm giving you $500 per short. Slashes Walt's budget. Mintz also says, you're only going to get 50% of the profits. And Walt is furious at this, completely infuriated. He held this personal connection to Oswald. He wanted to own his own character. And with this, he was completely done with Winkler. He was completely done with Universal. And sadly, he was completely done with Oswald. Oswald would eventually be purchased by the Walt Disney Company in 2006 in a trade with ESPN's Al Michaels. But until then, Walt would have nothing to do with Oswald the Lucky Rabbit ever again. Walt would leave New York and vow to own all of his own characters in the future. He wires Roy and Iwerks before he ends up going on this train ride and promises them an exclusive personal contract with Walt and his new company. And then, on the train ride home to California, Walt starts drawing a sketch of a mouse.
Yep.
And that is where we will end our story today.
Who was it?
You're going to have to wait to find out.
Oh, man, cliffhanger. So
Oh!
Oswald has really...
Oh!
I timed that perfectly.
That was insane.
That was insane. For the people listening, on our screen, Oswald was on a cliff, hanging, as Ryan said that.
I couldn't time. I didn't mean to do that. But Oswald has really gained a lot more popularity in the last, probably 10 years or so, 5-10 years.
Yeah,
He's all over the parks.
Sure.
He walks around the parks now. Or is that just in
Yes,
Disneyland?
he is. Yeah, there is a walk around character.
And Disney World as well?
Yes.
It's just Disneyland, right? It's some Disney World's more of a special
No, yeah,
character.
you're right. It's just Disneyland. I saw a picture today that.
Did I just know something that Ryan didn't? Someone write this down.
No.
Doesn't happen often. No, I don't think he's walking around in Walt Disney World, right?
Nope.
I mean, most characters don't walk around in Disney World, to be fair.
But, in Animal Kingdom they do, but
it's true.
But I don't think Oswald does.
Any other final words that people have from Oswald the Lucky Rabbit? Anything else that they'd like to share?
Oswald is Mickey Mouse with a different nose and longer ears.
And they didn't do the white gloves.
That was something I was going to bring up. Watching these shorts, you can really notice why they do the white gloves.
Makes it so much
His hand is completely disappearing in that.
Yeah,
you can't tell where his hand
is.
It's
for them to know what's happening.
Yes.
Within the story of the cartoon. So
yes.
Yeah, that's something he changed, and he changed for the better because Felix has the white gloves, and he never changed. So I think that was definitely something that.
Yeah, Mickey didn't start with white gloves. He didn't get them until the 40s.
So
I am a little bit curious, and maybe we can cut this. I kind of want to see a little bit from an Oswald cartoon made after Disney left.
I don't know. Go ahead.
I noticed that. I saw some of that, and I was like, "Oh, this didn't have Walt Disney's name on it."
It's definitely cheaper. You can tell that the cost went way down.
It's very hazy.
Wow. Yeah.
I don't know if this will make
the difference in detail
the episode or not, but when I wore my shirt. One of my mechanics said that he thought it was a racist depiction of somebody. Like, so I don't know. So I wonder if when they created Mickey, if they differentiated a little bit because of that, or if they adapted. I don't know. I just thought that was interesting though, because it was somebody who didn't know who Oswald the Lucky Rabbit was, and they're like, "Is that one of those like racist cartoons?" It's like, no,
so it's something
not.
old, so they immediately go, "That's got to be racist."
Yeah, I was like, it's absolutely not actually, but like I think that people who don't know who it is, I'm like, I guess, because it's an old cartoon.
Well, speaking of which, Chris,
Race Riot.
This cartoon,
that maybe it was.
I watched this one. This is the one I watched.
Oh, I assume this is a race, like an actual race.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he has this horse in a lot of them too. But this is not Walt, right?
This is not Walt, and it's way worse in my opinion.
Yeah, it's clearly not as high quality.
Yeah.
I think it's
crazy.
Cool. I like the elephant. Oh, it's pretty bad.
The elephant. The elephant is very just repetitive of the same thing over and over.
So that is not Walt. Here is Walt's.
Yeah, look at the
shading and the shadow.
It's so much better. Yeah,
smoother too.
Yeah, it's smoother.
It's more charming.
And definitely the story just off the bat seems better than what they were just doing.
He just killed a hippo.
No, that's Bo Dang or whatever.
Moo Dang. Well,
he's killing
who
it.
else is charming? Hey guys, do you hear that static?
Nope.
Oh, now I hear it.
It's in my head.
I'm gonna stop sharing my screen here.
How's that in my head? It won't go away.
Now
I think that might be Giles Garman. Hello there, Giles Garman here. How's everybody doing today?
Hello, Giles.
Oh, very glad to see everybody here. How are you doing, Ryan?
I'm good. We were just talking about your time period.
Wonderful, wonderful. I can tell you a little bit of different places. See, Oswald, the Lucky Rabbit, in the film, can be seen on a subway train.
He can't be heard.
Also,
stop. You're breaking up for some reason.
Breaking up again?
Yeah.
Where'd Giles go?
You're good now. You talking?
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh wait,
good
China.
now. It's good now.
Oh, that's so weird.
Start over on that. Back.
In the film Zootopia, a stamp of Oswald the Lucky Rabbit can be seen on an abandoned subway train.
Oh.
Also, coming into the studio now, I'd like to introduce to you my brother, Gerard Garman.
Hello there. I've been
Alex,
waiting.
you were going to play Gerard Garman.
Okay, please do. Because I did not know what to do there.
So you went immediately to baby baby voice. I don't know what to do. I just got to talk like a baby.
Oh, direct message. Okay, I see. I couldn't find this. I didn't know where it was. I was confused.
You were just sitting there. I was like, did he forget that he said?
I couldn't find the thing, so I couldn't figure. Okay.
Hello, Gerard. Welcome.
Footage of Oswald from the short The Skyscraper appears in the Marvel Studios film Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness as one of the TV programs being watched by Billy and Tommy Maximus from Earth 838.
Wow. No, the thing crazy about Gerard is that I talk to him and he just tells me facts. For example, I would ask him about things and he would just tell me, oh, yes, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit can be seen in the hieroglyphics in one of the classic Mickey Mouse shorts, Entombed.
That's correct.
It's very intelligent.
Wow, is he a cowboy?
He's an action hero.
Gerard, how was your day today, Gerard?
It was okay. I, had to move some hay earlier.
Swallowed a bunch of tacks.
You live on a farm?
Did you see Gerald today?
Yeah, he was out by the shed hanging out.
Oh, I'm very sorry for you.
That is get out of here. Go back home.
I heard he was eating glue.
He usually does that.
Yeah.
Usually does that.
Eating paint chips.
But you know who doesn't eat glue?
Who's that, Gerard?
A sticker of Oswald's face. Because it can be spotted in Big Hero 6 atop the ceiling of Hero's bedroom during the scene Baymax tends to his toe stubbing injury.
Ah, this is true. Well, thank you very much, Gerard. I'm very happy that you were able to join me today. You know, you did miss the fact about how Oswald appears in a poster as Chip and Dale drive through L.A. in Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, but that's okay. That's okay.
Don't call me again.
I'm very sorry, Gerard. And that's all from me, Giles Garman.
You sound like Roz.
Man, there's another brother. This family just keeps on increasing.
Yeah, I was.
Don't expect
shocked.
a fourth one.
I didn't know what to do.
That was really good.
That's
You
really
did better than
funny.
Chris did.
I freaked out.
Dude, I'm freaking out. The Bengals are up 21-7 right
I
now.
see that. I just pulled it up.
Anyone have any final notes on Walt's earliest films or how they've impacted all the other histories that we've done so far?
I mean, you can't have new without old. So they're old for impact everything moving forward. The time continuum. But you know, his original stuff made him who he was. Without those, Mickey wouldn't have been as good as it was eventually. As you established earlier, he was so young when he was doing the earlier shorts, like the cat. What was his name?
Julius?
Julius, and then Oswald. I mean, he learned so much over the time. That's how Mickey was able to become so polished as a character, making him beloved instantly.
Oh, absolutely. Ryan, you're muted.
How'd that happen? It's very
know.
funny to, or not, very interesting to see how far it's come from where it began. It's like it was simplistic, but still had so much charm and storytelling in it, even without even using words.
Yeah, it's like 100 years old, right? Almost.
Yes.
And my kids were still like watching it. Like that's
Yeah.
insane. No one would have been like, "Oh, this is going to be enjoyed 100 years from now." Like that's ridiculous to say.
It
Why
still
would you say that?
resonate with kids 100 years later.
But it did.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, but it does. Doesn't have to have words or anything. It still tells a story, and still kids will still enjoy that.
As an epic Mickey fan, that is where I first encountered everything with Oswald.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just became fascinated with the old cartoons. I really did. And so I went through and watched all of the old Laugh-O-Grams, all of the old Alice comedies, which those especially very much vary in quality.
Max is like,
And-
I'm gonna make this my personality.
All of the old Oswald cartoons. And then I went and watched all the old Mickey Mouse cartoons. And it's really interesting seeing the development in style from the Newman's Laugh-O-Grams, which we all agreed were pretty bad, all the way up to some iconic Mickey Mouse cartoons.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of things like this something I want to do is I own a bunch of old Disney stuff, and I actually own I think it's an 8mm reel of one of the early Silly Symphony ones.
What?
Yeah, actually I own one. I got it for
Really?
I own it. It's like $8 on eBay.
Oh, big spender over here.
It was I believe it was Better Get a Horse.
Whoa.
Oh, Get a Horse?
Get a Horse. That's it.
Get a Horse is a Mickey Mouse cartoon that was released with Frozen in 2013.
No, then it's not that. I'll have to see which one it is. But
Max, why do you know that?
because he's an encyclopedia, because he's Sheldon.
You know what? Orson Welles told me.
But okay, Orson Welles. Anyway, something I want to start doing, maybe I'll do it on our Instagram, is I want to start going through my collection and kind of giving history of some of the things I own. I own like 8 different Mickey
that's
or
cool.
You
Disney
should do like
character
a
phones.
your little road show.
That's what I want to do. Yeah, basically that. I'll just do a little mini series on our Instagram. So if you want, follow us on Into the Disneyverse, Disney with a Z, on Instagram, and I'm gonna start doing those pretty soon.
Dizneyverse.
Yeah, you can follow us at
Dizneyverse?
Dizneyverse as well.
It's just Disney
No,
everywhere.
I don't follow us. That's so I don't know.
Just Disneyverse everywhere.
Yeah, just go to Dizneyverse on Instagram.
Dizneyverse.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna start doing those soon because I think I own some pretty interesting stuff, and I'd like to share it with everybody.
Can you have like your wife help you, and she'll bring the item in as if it is a roadshow, and you'll be like, oh wow, this is a nice little interesting little artifact you have here. I think they said it's from 1935.
Oh, I don't own anything that old. But I'll have to do some research and find out some information on some of these. Some of it I don't have a whole lot of information on, but some I do.
Mhm. Oh yeah. Chris, do you have anything you'd like to plug? Yes, you do. Oh, this is just for the YouTube viewers.
What's
But
that?
Yeah, should
Never
I
mind.
even? Yeah.
I would. I have a couple of things to plug. So, first off, if you're listening to this upcoming Friday night
Yeah.
on November 22nd, I'm going to be hosting a game night. It's going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and the link's going to be posted all over our social media. It's going to be a ton of fun. It's going to be open to the public. You don't just have to be in our Patreon to join in this game night. Anyone can join in, and it's going to be a ton of fun. So, go ahead and join in that. The other thing I'd like to plug is if you would like to go over to California and visit Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, there is a great company that can help you plan that. Somebody tell me what company can help you plan
Would that be Sandpiper Vacations?
Yeah, Sandpiper Vacations. They did not go out of business like Pictorial. They did not try to steal characters like Winkler. No, they are a much more ethical company than the companies we've talked about on today's show.
Mhm. Yep, they sure are.
Why are they, Alex? What makes them such a great company?
It's just, it goes from the top. It starts with Nick, who owns it, and it trickles down to the people he hires. And everyone he hires is so well versed in Disney information that anyone can help you find a great vacation at a great price at no cost of your own, which is insane. And if you need help while you're at Disney and you're confused, like, I don't know what's going on, I need someone to tell me what to do, you call them, someone will answer, and they'll tell you what to do.
Absolutely. So go ahead and check out Sandpiper Vacations and let them know that Into the Dizneyverse sent you. Do you guys hear that?
No.
Oh no. Do I have to read things?
I think we have a maximum incursion.
Oh no.
Is it in the
Oh my
Google
God,
Drive?
Gerard's back.
Is it in the Google Drive?
It is.
It's in show notes.
It is
I
in
usually
show
don't
notes.
pull up
There's a
show notes
lot.
when Mag's hosts. So usually isn't any.
Dude, the Bengals.
Oh,
are
I forgot to try to
killer.
work in Hawk 2. I'm sorry, Chris.
It's
That's
okay.
fine.
Next time.
Don't worry about it.
It's all right. We'll do it in the.
Never.
All right, I'm ready.
Well, the next one that I'm writing, we definitely don't want to put it into.
It might already be in there.
Why am I always first? I'm always first.
Because you're. It's
Oh,
a
I
tradition
never
now.
changed the order. I just don't
Yeah,
change the
It's a
order.
tradition. Always first.
All right, let me make sure Chris
Always
didn't mess with
first.
I
himself,
didn't.
say
I didn't.
something.
I just pulled these
yeah,
up.
yeah.
I wish I could have. I would have probably incorporated.
You
Hawk
give me the
2 in there.
longest one. This is a full paragraph and a half.
Yeah, but it's funny.
There's no way I read it all. You got to have somebody else read it so it can be funny.
Yeah, that's. You gotta have someone else read that one. That one's so long. Put that for me. I'll read it fast.
Funny one.
I'll just do the first one and you guys just keep going.
No, don't switch the thing.
Yeah,
Oh, I
just
already
put it-
switched the order.
No,
Put it. Yeah.
The order's
Okay,
always
there we
listed.
go.
Okay.
Ryan's
So
always.
you're up so that Ryan's still reading it.
Lost before. It's
Ryan's
fine.
always first.
Okay. All right.
Do you have a timer up?
No, why would I? That would be nonsense.
You could wing it. All right, you ready?
No.
What the hell?
Okay. 2 minutes.
What?
30
30
seconds.
seconds.
You
30
making ramen?
All right, on your go.
All right. Oswald the Lucky Rabbit film, Empty Socks, was thought to be lost before it was found in Norway in 2015.
On July 30th, 2021, a black Dodge Charger struck the Laugh-O-Gram studio and caused significant damage to the exterior. The incident occurred early in the morning. The driver fled the scene, though authorities subsequently found a woman's driving license and margarita within the vehicle. Butch Rigby, who launched the campaign to save the restore the building, described the incident optimistically. The bottom line, it's a bump in the road, but it could have been worse.
Universe would make 163
Wow.
Oswald the Lucky Rabbit cartoons after Walt left.
Stop. Why did you write such a long
We
one?
should have just put that into history.
Good.
Good God.
It's so entertaining because it's all about the studio today. It's not really about the film, so it didn't really fit with the history.
Chris, read one more, please.
Just finish out when you were reading.
I did. Universal would make 163 Oswald the Lucky Rabbit cartoons after Walt left.
Wow. That's crazy. That's a lot. Wow. That's a lot.
Hawk Tuas.
That's a lot.
Actually, I have been to the Laugh-O-Gram studio, and it was very much in ruins, and I was worried I was going to get mugged, so I left pretty quickly. I
Did
also
you
drove
get hit
by
Black Charger?
I drove by Walt Disney's home when I was in Kansas City, and it's a private property, but it has like some people gave it 1-star reviews and said it smells weird, so I don't really know.
Smells weird.
Apparently.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, we have more. We got there was 1, 2, 3, 4 more facts we did not get to because fact number 2 was 3 paragraphs long.
But it was worth it, wasn't it?
Yes.
You didn't want to hear about the lady with the margarita in the car and then the guy that makes the wild joke about bumping the road?
It was great. Well, YouTube, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you're watching this over, first of all, why?
Recording
Yeah,
stopped.
somebody rewatched one of our old videos on YouTube. Apparently, they left a comment earlier today.
Oh, really? What'd they say?
Is it nice?
Let me see. It's in our find it in our inbox of our email. It's under social. They said, "Does Mags need a hug?"
Oh, yeah, actually it does.
Is this somebody we know?
I don't know what the context was.
Probably me making fun of you for being children.
No, it was the one you weren't on. It was Tiki Room.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you need a hug because I wasn't there.
Yeah.
Probably.
Well, anyway, YouTube, thank you so much for watching. We love you. All of us.